with milk production averagely higher than a pure Boran.
The two different calves you see in there, they are crossbreeds between a Holstein Friesian and a Boran animal. So the mother is a Boran and the father, we call it the sire, is a Holstein Friesian bull. And those animals, their milk production might be a little less than a purebred Holstein Friesian, but more often they are a bit more strong. They can deal with the environment a little bit better. They don't need to have the very high quality feeds, and they can also deal with feeds of lesser quality. And they are also more often a little more resistant against disease. So for some farmers, that is a better option to start with than with a very high quality animal. So you have to look at that. It is very important for the farmer to see, what do I have on my farm, what do I have available, what is the environment that this cow is going to live in, and that has to match the genetic potential of the animal. So if you have very good quality feeds, you can manage an animal with a genetic high potential. If that maybe is too much of a challenge for you in the beginning, it is better to go for a crossbreed. Also in some areas, like for example, close to Lake Victoria or at the coast, where the environment is even more harsh than here in the high altitude places of Kenya, it is often better to go for this type of animals.
Well said. As a farmer, go for what you can and achieve as high production as you can. Like human beings who need an increase in food as they grow, so are cows. That is why at 6 months the amount of feed should have increased. It should also be available throughout the day so that they can feed whenever they want.
Cows, they are approximately 6 months old. Yeah? And what you see is that the amount of silage that we put in front of these animals is getting more and more. We don't measure it, we just put enough that tomorrow morning when we come back here, there's still a little bit left, so that we can see the animal has been able to eat as much as they want. And that's what we really want. The dairy milk, we are now not putting it separately in a trough anymore, but we are now putting it on top of the maize silage, and we know the calves will finish everything. So you see they're still in a group of about 4 to 5 animals. Over there are 3, here there are 5. And the reason why that is because we have grouped them according to the size of the animal. And you see there, all of the 5 are approximately the same size, while these 3 are also approximately the same size. So then we water them 2-3 times a day, and in the end that's where they can go and rest and ruminate now. And
plenty of fresh and clean water is necessary for a good body build. At 7 months, they should be transferred to a different structure. Enough space and air is necessary. This helps prevent diseases like pneumonia.
It is built differently. We are not afraid for the rain or the wind for the calves. They have no problem with it. In fact, the building has been designed to allow a lot of wind to pass through, so that there is a lot of ventilation. In your housing system, you always have to make sure that when you are working there and when you are walking through there, that you are able to breathe very comfortably. So you don't breathe the gases of the manure and of the urine that the cows produce. Because if you can breathe easily, then the cows can breathe easily. And that is very important. If it's not the case, you might have a lot of problems with pneumonia in your herd. And you will hear the calves coughing a lot. If that is the case, that is normally a sign that there's not enough ventilation in your housing system.
At 15 months, with 375 kilograms, the cow starts showing heat signs and is ready for service. In Baraka farm, they are served through artificial insemination which has its advantages.
When the calves are about this size here now, they are now ready for service, we call it. So they'll start showing heat signs. So the calves indicate that they are fertile and ready when they're in heat to be inseminated. And for that purpose we use artificial insemination. We call an inseminator, and he comes with a straw with semen that we have chosen as a farmer, and he then inseminates the animal. So they are about 15 months old, and they weigh about 375 kilos of live weight. Yeah? Again, we weigh them, all of them. We measure every month all the cows, so we can see that they are growing well, and we also know whether it is time to inseminate them, or if we need to deworm them, how much medication we need to give them. Yeah, so that's another reason why the weight of the animal is very important.
As the cows have been well fed since birth, their bodies are strong enough for the in-calf process. After 6 months of gestation, they are taken outside so that they get used to feeding in grass. It is also at this stage that their movement is increased to make calving easy.
Pregnant, they stay in the same system, and now our only concern is to continue feeding them and to reach their adult weight of about 560 kilos of live weight, which we approach when they're at the end of the system over here. So here these animals, they have reached a good size. They are able to deliver a healthy calf, and they are able to take in enough food to start producing milk. These ones are pregnant. Maybe they are pregnant for 3 months, between 3 and 6 months. Once the pregnancy is older than 6 months, we take them out. They now go for the first time into the pasture, so they can adopt for another 2 months before they calve down to that different environment again. So that when they have to calve down, there's not too much stress for them. They're already used to eating grass, and they're also introduced to the other cows who are already producing milk. So every time when we change the environment of the animal, we try not to do too many things at once. So we give them time to get used to the different environment. If you keep animals in a zero grazing unit system, that 2 diseases that they have a lot of problems with in Kenya are tick-borne fever, so diseases that are being brought by ticks, like anaplasmosis, East Coast fever, babesiosis. That is the tick challenge. You have reduced it nearly to zero. So we don't have to spray these animals again with ticks. And another advantage with feeding them with silage or Napier grasses that where no other animals are eating from is that also the worm challenge is very little and very low. So you can reduce on the amount of medication that you need to use to control worm infections in the animal.
The adult weight of a dairy cow that has gone through this rearing procedure averages 560 kilograms. This, without a doubt, amounts to up to 20 liters of milk per day. A farmer in such a business is definitely a millionaire. Walk the road of being a millionaire, having enough knowledge in the field by taking advantage of what Baraka Farm offers as a training center.